This week on Dumb Pitches, my guest is Jamel Johnson, and he tells us a terrifying story about making the decision to eat a fish sandwich from Arby's in the middle of the night. I mean, you can kind of guess what happens, but we get in depth into why it was such a bad decision, and from top to bottom, it really was. Also, a brunch show where he wanted white people to feel safe, and it seemed like an interesting angle. Worth listening to. Here we go. Dumb pitches.
What a bunch of dumb pitches. Oh my goodness.
Welcome to another episode of Dumb Pitches with Monica Nevi. I'm Monica Nevi, your host. This is the show where we talk to successful people about their worst ideas. I am very happy to have our guest this week, my friend and now yours, Jamel Johnson. Yay.
Yo.
Hey.
I can count on one hand how many people have said I'm successful, so thank you.
Well, perfect. We give the reason we start by giving your good ideas is so people know that you have had good ideas and you are successful in some way. Jamel and I met years ago in Los Angeles and bonded over our love for basketball. It's particularly the WNBA because I don't have a lot of people to talk to about it, and so he's my guy to talk to about the WNBA with. So
couldn't be more in. People still think I'm like doing it as a bit.
They're like Washington Mystics of all teams.
Yeah, like people are always like, "Oh, you really like the WNBA? Like, what do you think I was playing?"
What a weird bit to really commit to for like years.
Yeah, like what do you? I have gained nothing.
Right,
I've lost money.
You bought that jersey for
retail.
All right, so let's do your good ideas. What so everyone knows that you have some credibility before we get started here.
Sick.
You have been on Comedy Central. You were on Heart of the City. You do a show called Sneak This, or some sketches, I guess, called Sneak This for BR Kicks with Rob Hayes. Actually, today I watched the sneaker draft, the kick draft.
Nice.
It was hilarious. That was so funny. If you guys haven't checked it out, go watch it because they're very funny. You have a show called NBA Storytime. Like I said, also just such a good a basketball person. So I love that. And then you're one of very few albums that I actually like leave on my phone because when it comes up in your car and stuff, you know. So I still have I Think It's Good on it's your comedy album on my phone, and when it comes up, I just let it play, you know.
Dude, that's love. Thank you. Yeah. I've been wondering why, SoundScan is still
getting some.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. So you've had plenty of good ideas, really, really fun stuff. And I mean, not that I ever need to like, I guess, validate people's good ideas, but I'm also a sneaker person. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just your demographic, and that's why I enjoy everything you make.
Almost exactly.
I'm a basketball player, WNBA fan, love shoes. Yeah, so like all this stuff you've been making recently with the kicks, I just love it. So, so you have had good ideas, and I can vouch for them, especially if you're also a basketball / sneaker fan. All right. So when I sent you kind of the guidelines, there's not really guidelines, the ideas for the bad ideas, what did you come up with first?
Okay, so the first stand-up show I ever produced was at a place called Shaw's Tavern in DC, and it was a brunch time. It was Saturday brunch time, like 8 years ago, and this is like, gentrification is heating up in the city.
Okay, so it hasn't not full blown, but it's coming.
It wasn't. Yeah, the new Target wasn't finished, but
okay.
It was coming, and I decided to call the show the Safe Minority Comedy Brunch Hour.
Okay, and this is the first show. Had you been doing stand up before this?
I had been doing stand up before this. I had been doing
is...
stand up for a couple years before this. Somebody's like, "Hey, do you want to run a show?" I like, "Yes, please." I'm like, okay, all right. We're on Florida Avenue. there's white people here now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's let them know we're nice.
This is our what do you call it? Bringing the next door neighbor
Yeah, bringing the
a
pie
cake or
through,
pie. Yeah, this is
olive
your
branch,
olive
all
branch.
of that. I'm just like, hey, look, we're not gonna take your stuff. We are gonna call you stupid, but we're not gonna take your stuff.
But we're gonna let you
And
listen to it. We're gonna call you stupid,
yeah,
but you can come and watch us do that.
which I know white people enjoy. Like white people love getting made fun of in public.
Yeah, especially by not white people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, he called me a honky to my face.
He's noticed me.
Honey.
They've been
So
paying
I'm like,
attention.
oh, the crowd, the streets are gonna go nuts for this. No, they didn't.
How did it end up going then? Well, first of all, I don't. If you have never produced a show before, not that that's the only people who watch this, but producing a brunch show is more difficult than doing a nighttime show. Any time that where it's still light out is pretty difficult. It adds this layer of complication to getting people inside to do something.
Yeah, more reasons to not be in a room and listening to a stranger. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so it didn't go great. I mean, I did a few of them. I might have did like.
You're like, it didn't go well, but we did more.
We did more. I think we made it. I think we lasted maybe 5 months.
Okay, that's I mean, that's pretty good for a bad idea, you know?
Yeah, it's true. It just never. I think we had one show where a ton of people came, and it was fun. And then every other time it'd be like 2 people, but like 6 comedians getting free brunch, and we're just costing Shaw's Tavern hundreds of dollars
they're
every
just like,
Saturday.
So, did you set this up just so we could feed comedians, or so we could do a show? Like,
I mean, obviously, I'm trying to work both angles, but it didn't. I put way too much thought into it. I had like. You know how like a picture frame comes with a stock photo of a white family?
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, when you do the show, I was like, everyone had to do like a photo shoot with a stock image of a white family.
I mean, okay. I appreciate that that's such a focus of the show, of being like, hey, white people, come watch us. It's going to be okay. Which is it's just an odd angle. I don't know if did that help. I mean, so the time you had a bunch of people there, what did that audience look like?
Well, it was definitely white people. I mean, It was just like, well, it wasn't all. So DC is, it won't be entirely white people.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely a few black couples. We do pretty serious brunch.
Right. Okay.
In DC, but mostly young white. I feel like it was some sort of accident. I don't know how they found out. But one Saturday, it was live.
Okay, so then the other ones, you're saying like 2 people?
Yeah, it'd be like 1 or 2, because nobody goes to brunch alone.
That's
so
true.
It'd be like 4 people,
Okay. And they were probably, so did they have a popular brunch already, or were they?
I think they were trying to make their brunch popular.
Okay. Which, I don't know if you go comedy first, but.
Yeah,
okay.
Mixed results.
Yeah.
They do still exist.
Okay.
I was walking around DC last week, and Shaw's Tavern does still exist, so good for them.
Did you go in and apologize?
No, absolutely not.
You should have got some brunch. Okay. Okay. I'm just so impressed that it lasted for 5 months. It's, I mean, so it was monthly, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay. So that does sometimes take a bit to like convince an establishment. You're like, hey, it'll get better. More people will find out about it. And then you had that one good show. So they're like, well, if it's like that every time, then that's fine. But
and then it just went back to it not being,
Yeah, just none of them.
Burnt. Just me walking out with 2 brunches. And people being like, was anybody upstairs? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And were you going to pay the comics anyways, or were they just getting brunch?
You were just getting brunch.
Okay, so they knew that was going to be the deal.
Yeah, this is it.
Okay.
Get a waffle or don't.
That helps. What was the title of it again?
the Safe Minority Comedy Brunch Hour.
Safe minority. Okay, does that make people think it's for? I don't know. That almost.
There's too many words. There's like too many words.
It is a lot of words.
And it was like a little too it's just too much. I didn't have to do that. It just could have been the picture, and we just could have called it a comedy show, brunch comedy show.
Yeah.
And then the people would have just figured it out. I was leading too hard.
It's well, because that is I'm harping on my own white guilt here to say like if I had seen that poster, would I have been like, well, I want to support minorities, but I don't want them to think I can only support safe, like the good ones, you know?
Exactly.
Like,
I'm tricking now. Now you're reading this and you're like, well, I like the non-safe ones too.
I'd support all minorities. Yeah.
No, you don't. Come to the safe show.
Right. That's yeah.
We don't support the non-safe ones.
We're just letting you know it's going to be safe. That's all.
That's it. But it was just too much.
Yeah. Well, I think all of our bad ideas stem from a good intention, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been a brunch show is nice to have. You're trying to help out the Shaw people and hopefully make the white people who are going to come then be more supportive of minorities, and pretty much none of those things worked out, but still that's it. It was a good effort. All right. Do you have another one?
Do I have any other official Jamel Johnson bad ideas? Well, one time I got a Nashville hot fish sandwich from Arby's. That's a very bad idea.
That is the best. That might be my favorite one we've had. Okay. I didn't know they made that sandwich.
Me neither. And I was like, okay, so I was doing weed deliveries like late in LA, and there's nothing open. I'm super hungry. I'm just stoned because it's just an occupational hazard. You'll just end up stoned when you don't want to be.
Right.
And I'm super high, and I'm like, man, I got to eat something right now. And I saw it, and I was like, whoa, I didn't know they did Nashville hot fish. And I knew it was a bad idea.
Right. I mean,
I was like,
even if Arby's of all places was like, we have Nashville hot chicken, I'd be like, no, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, any Nashville hot. You guys have the meats. You don't make them hot.
Yeah. Well, and does fish count as the meats? Do they have a fish sandwich normally?
No, this is one of those fast food Lent thing. You know what they do when Lent comes around?
Oh.
Everybody adds a fish sandwich.
Got it, because they're like, we gave up red meat or whatever.
And it's like, I guess you gave that up. You can't say you gave up a food and then add a fast food. I don't think it's...
Yeah, that seems... I mean, Lent is not necessarily to lose weight or anything.
That's true.
You're just giving up one thing. I don't quite understand it. I went to a Catholic school, but did not pay attention. So.
Good work. I think you did the right thing. Anyway, yeah, I'm like, so I knew it was a bad idea, but then I was like, hey, wait, what if this is like one of those things where it's like, it's secretly good?
Oh, okay. All right. So now you're talking yourself into the bad idea.
Yeah, and it was just way wronger than I could
So
ever
tell
think.
us about what happened, how was it, and then what were the repercussions afterwards?
I mean, it was awful. It was just, they took a regular fast food fish fillet and dropped half a bottle of red pepper flakes on it. You know, it just didn't, nothing seemed intentional about the sandwich. When I looked at it, I was like, this spice doesn't seem evenly distributed. I don't know why the stuff is all...
It's all on one side.
You know, it's all on one side, but I'm like, well, shit, I gotta eat it. And it was awful. It just tasted like heat, just raw heat, no fish. Well, couldn't even taste the bun.
I do wonder what fast food fish is. Is it fish?
It's some sort of minced. It's like chicken nuggets, but fish.
Okay. Just a mixture of leftover things? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Big fish nuggets.
And you ate the whole thing?
I did eat the. Well, I ate his. I don't know. I don't think I finished it actually.
Really?
I think I ended up chucking half of it. I think I ate half of it and gave up, conceded.
Okay, so what technically makes a hot sandwich or a hot whatever Nashville different than a regular spicy sandwich? Is it just
Well,
red pepper flakes? I mean, I don't know. Obviously, they were like, I just wonder why, of all things, they didn't just do like spicy fish sandwich, but they're like, this is Nashville hot sandwich.
well, because that thing just everywhere in LA had a hot chicken place. LA is all over hot chicken.
Yeah.
And I don't really know the difference. I guess it's like the batter is coated in spice and it's not like straight red pepper flakes. It's like ground.
I see. So it's like, it's the outside, it's the actual crust. It's not like they just put hot sauce on it or something.
Yeah. And I mean, I probably had the shits for like 2 days.
Really?
Like the next couple days were fucked up.
And you didn't even eat the whole thing. Was it?
Not eat the whole thing.
So on a spice level, was it actually hot or?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And that's why
Far
you couldn't
too hot.
taste the rest of it. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mouth on fire.
Is your butthole on fire later?
Later, yes. Done for. A disaster. A straight up disaster.
I mean, that really was, because sometimes on this show we're like, okay, that's a bad idea, but maybe you learned something or something good came out of it. And this one, top to bottom, no pun intended, seemed pretty bad.
Yeah, no, just execution, thought process. It was all fucked up. It was way off.
I feel like the only times I've ever gone to Arby's are because they do have a shorter line than some of the other options.
That makes sense.
Was that maybe something that was happening? Or were you drawn in particularly by the Nashville hot fish sandwich?
Well, it was just proximity.
Okay.
I think I was on Sunset and there's just nothing else open. It was like 10 p.m. I'm on Sunset. It's the only thing open for a mile and a half, 2 miles. And I'm just like, all right.
I know the exact Arby's you're talking about because when I first moved, well, it's got like an old sign or whatever too, but when I first moved to LA that day, we went, or maybe it was when Mike had first got there, we went to that Arby's because he is a big beef and cheddar fan for whatever reason. I got classic beef and cheddar and fries, and I got sick faster than I think I ever have. Like, I got sick immediately and had to go to their bathroom, which is like outside.
Whoa. Okay.
And so I have not been back since, and that was probably 5 years ago, but still.
Okay, so that Arby's is fucking up stuff they do well.
Yeah, maybe it's just that, see, maybe you need to give the Nashville hot fish sandwich another try at a different Arby's.
What I've learned above all else about fast food is it's not about where you go.
Do you have scissors
it's about
right now?
Who's working there. Yes, I'm holding scissors.
Okay, it's getting serious.
Because I'm getting serious. And everybody needs to cut it out.
Okay, so there is, I don't think about that very often because they're making the same menu, at each restaurant, but there's still different people making it. And I don't know who's grilling or microwaving or whatever is going on.
You don't know what they've been through.
Yeah.
You don't know how much they care. You just need the staff that cares.
Yes. That's good. So maybe that, which I will give it to the staff at that particular Arby's. It probably is not the easiest place to work.
Oh, I'm sure it's a disaster.
Sunset. Yeah, no. Yeah, so maybe their least worry. That doesn't make sense. But the thing they're worried about the least is the food.
Yeah.
Just based on who probably comes in there. But well, I mean that's commitment to needing. I guess my real question is, so are you an Arby's fan before that? Have you been there and gotten like their regular, other types of sandwiches?
I have had successful trips to Arby's at this point.
Okay.
I was usually just sticking to the chicken sandwich.
I love a good chicken sandwich.
Occasionally, once or twice, I've gotten a beef and cheddar.
Okay.
Had a good time.
Good. So we haven't. It's not. You haven't had an adverse experience with Arby's themselves. So yes, I guess the real bad idea here was venturing out away from what you normally get and trying the fish sandwich in particular.
Yeah, big time mistake.
I didn't even know that they had a fish sandwich, but I'm sure you're right. Everyone does one at some point.
Yeah, it's definitely that time. You can tell because all the ads become about fish sandwiches.
I don't even like a fish sandwich from like a nice restaurant. And I like seafood. I like fish a lot, but I don't need it to be between bread, I think.
I feel that.
Yeah.
An unnecessary extra step.
Yeah, I'll just eat it. Just give me some Nashville hot fish by
put
itself.
It in my hand.
Yeah, just put it in my hand, just right here. I don't need a plate or anything. Just hand it.
Yeah, go.
As long as the seasoning is evenly distributed.
Yo,
that is the moral of this story.
I took a bite and was like, "What the fuck?" And then I opened it and was like, "Yo, this is crazy looking."
Also, never a good sign if you have to open your sandwich.
Yeah, you should just eat.
You should just be able to eat it and not have questions.
Nah, it had me fucked up. I was way off. I was way off my game.
Oh, I mean, I appreciate you sharing the story, and you were delivering weed?
Yeah, I worked for this delivery company for like a year.
Okay. And was this during the pandemic?
No, this was pre-Dems.
This
was way pre. This was like 2017 to 2018.
Well, and that's another important part of this story is that it's really stuck with you, which I understand. Anytime you get sick from eating, you usually remember what it was that you had and the experience that you had. I'm impressed overall, though. It's a good... So what did you learn? No, I'm just kidding. It's not. Would you do that again? No. Yeah, I think that... Like, I'm having, like, these visualizations of reasons you would need to open your sandwich, Like, it would only ever be if it tasted poorly. Or I'm having, especially for fast food reasons, because we've all heard horror stories of, like, something being left, there's a Band-Aid or something in it. And
a weird crunch.
Yeah, that's a weird texture. That's different than I anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
Or too much spice, I guess.
All right, and this is motivated me to stop eating fast food.
Oh, yeah. Just imagine Band-Aids in there, and then that'll...
Yeah, I forgot that was possible.
I'm not very good at not eating fast food either, but I have never gotten a fish sandwich, so I will probably stick to that. To that rule. Oh, man. So are you doing live shows again?
Yeah, I'm back around doing some live stuff. August 29th, I'm at Zebulon in LA with Sarah Squirm.
Hey.
The Sarah Squirm Show.
Nice.
Hell Trap Nightmare. And then September 10th at Dynasty Typewriter, me and Megan Gailey each doing 30 minutes.
Hell yeah. September 10th?
Yeah.
What time is that? I might just come hang out. Watch.
Hey, come slide. Yeah. I think it's probably at 8 p.m.
Okay. Yeah, I might come over after mine. That's exciting. I think both of you are very funny. I should have her on this show. Anyways.
Yes, you should.
Yeah. Okay. What it was like your website, your social media and stuff so people can follow you, check out, make sure you're watching all his sketches and find the album and all that stuff. I very much enjoy them.
Yeah. Search Jamel Johnson in your Spotify, in your Apple Podcast, in your Apple Music, in your Tidal Music, Google Play Store. Just search my goddamn name.
Just keep going.
And I am not the one who does jazz. Also, JamelJohnson.com is the thing. And it's Broccoli House, at Broccoli House on Instagram, and at Nonprofit Comic on Twitter.
Nonprofit Comic. That's nice. That's good. Our podcast producers were saying how much they liked your handle, and they liked that it wasn't your name. So, good.
That's me, living like I'm ducking the feds at all times.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. Go find Jamel. Support his all of his stuff that he creates. Go see him live. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you can subscribe to my channel. You can follow us on Spotify or subscribe on Apple. You guys know all the things. Just do the things. Give us a review. I'm definitely doing live shows. MonicaNevi.com has my dates. And we have YouTube memberships. That's what I was forgetting. We have YouTube memberships. So if you join the memberships for a small fee per month, you get behind the scenes videos from this show. You get early access to this show. You also get custom emojis for all live streams and other videos that no one else gets to see, including 50-minute stand-up sets from me. So
Ooh.
worth it. And but right now you can just keep watching Dumb Pitches.
You're weird.
Yes.